right now, we're in a position where most of our leads are generated by referrals or somebody Googles us. They just look us up, find us online, and that accounts probably for, I'd say, 85 to 90% of the jobs that we do.
We really don't do much marketing at all. Our marketing budget is very, very tiny.
You're listening to the Remodeler Digital Playbook, a show created to inspire remodeling contractors to achieve success in their remodeling business. I am your host, Ratna Ramakrishnan. I'm also the founder of Remodeler Digital, the digital marketing agency for remodeling contractors. In each episode, I'll be chatting with remodeling contractors and top experts discussing their proven methods for revenue generation, the insights they've gained, and the keys to remodeling success. And I'll be sharing my knowledge of how I created a 7-figure business using digital marketing. Welcome to the Remodeler Digital Playbook podcast. I am super excited today to have Paul and Tessa from Jansen, both industry leaders in the remodeling business. They've been in business since 1997. And I'm very excited to have our first lady podcast guest. So welcome, Tessa. It's exciting to have you here. We're just going to talk about your story. So give me a little bit of perspective as to when Jansen was founded, your backstory, where you guys are at today. If you're comfortable sharing your revenue numbers, please do, because it inspires other listeners to hear your story and understand how you are where you are at today. So, Paul, would you like to share with us the history of Jansen?
I can do that. Generally, we started back in 1997, my brother Ron and myself. I had always talked about starting some kind of a business, and we had both had construction backgrounds. So we started in 1997 in March, and soon after, a third brother joined in, Richard. So there were three of us that ran the company and owned the company. Along the way, we started doing pretty much any kind of construction. At that time, Ron had a residential contractor's license. In about 2001, I got a builder's contractor's license, which allows us to do some commercial work.
Nice.
So we expanded a little bit there. In about 2002, we opened a showroom, which was unique to our company and unique to the area as far as contractors go, because we kept getting pulled toward kitchens and bath remodels. So we steadily grew that side of the business. And in 2015, we actually rebranded as Jansen Kitchen and Bath because we started out as Jansen Quality Construction. So we do business as a kitchen and bath company now. It steadily grew. We're up to about between $4 and $5 million revenue a year.
Congratulations.
And we kind of focus on, so we got away from any of the additions, anything kind of pulling you into that massive reframing. We'll do anything interior of a home. So if somebody, wants to go in, keep their roof, but completely rework the floor plan, we'll go in and do that. We've just kind of gotten away from all of those additions and things like that, new builds, things like that, whereas they did start off building a couple of houses.
Amazing. Very cool. So I guess your showroom is filled with kitchen and bathroom materials and supplies that people can come and touch and feel and choose from.
Right. We've got lots of vignettes set up, kitchen set up, vanity set up, showers installed, all of that, so people can come in and actually see what we're talking about, look at what we can do. We actually have a stone and glass department also along with the company, so we're able to showcase all of our quartz and granite and all of that in our kitchen vignettes, and then all of our shower glass and mirrors on all of our bathroom stuff.
Nice. And where is your showroom?
Middle of Pensacola.
Very cool. And how do you come up with your vendor partnerships on what products you carry in your showroom?
We're actually pretty picky about who we bring in here. we like to be a little bit different from everybody in town. So we tend to stick with vendors that not everybody else carries. Our stone we kind of get from North Louisiana. It's a little bit different from what everybody else has stone wise around here. Our tile, we keep stuff that you're not going to walk into just a flooring showroom and see. We don't carry any of the big brands like Dow Tile or any of that.
I see.
We kind of keep everything a little more, everything's really tailored to being super custom.
Very nice. So at what point Tessa, did you come into Jansen Inc. and what initiated the new ownership partnership for you to join, the Jansen brothers?
I've been here 8 years. I became lead designer and sales manager, I think 4 years ago. And then Richard wanted to retire, and Paul wants to retire, and Ron wants to retire. So that's when the new owners came into play.
Nice.
We came up with a plan to where we could keep the company growing because
Yes.
we've got quite a machine going. But and it's tough to sell one just straight out on the market the way we are set up. So we have some fantastic employees here, and we worked out a plan to eventually sell it to them. So that's what we're in the middle of right now. My older brother Richard has retired. He's been gone for about a year, retired.
Nice.
And we're working it out where 3 new owners will be taking the reins in several years.
And
And all 3 of us have been here for a while.
amazing. So your employees that are going to acquire the businesses, new owners, and then keep the brand going, and you already understand the vision and the philosophy.
Exactly.
And how exciting. What a great way to transition and exit your business, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd love to speak to you, Tessa, a little bit about your design. Do you follow a certain methodology? Is there like certain kinds of software that you like to use for the renderings?
We use Chief Architect pretty much for everything that we do. It's just so easy to do your renderings and floor plans and all of that. And it definitely helps with sales. We've come a very long way since we've started doing the renderings and things like that. It just makes it a lot easier for people to see what they're gonna get and what it's coming from. We still use 2020 for all your cabinet pricing, things like that, but we really, really, really rely on Chief Architect for 99% of the stuff we do on the design side.
Very cool. So you have a degree in design. Did you go to college for that?
I have a degree in graphic design, not interior design.
Amazing.
I fell into the interior design world and I've been doing it for, I think, 18 years now.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Paul, when you look at the remodeling industry, considering you've been in it for decades, how has it changed? What were the initial struggles that you had when you brothers decided to launch Jansen? And then you spoke to us about the evolution of niching down, making it a kitchen and bathroom business. But how was your journey from when you began to now? And what are you seeing as what's happening with the remodeling industry?
That's a great question. We started out on a very different route, and we would take on any kind of contracting work, from replacing rotten wood. We actually built 5 custom houses along the way, and just kept searching for the right fit to where we could excel. We eventually landed on kitchens and baths. We bought the showroom and got it going. We needed a place where people could come and touch and feel the material they were getting, could lay things out and decide. And then at about the same time we had the showroom, we hired our first designers. And that was a big advantage to us over anybody else doing remodeling or new construction even, but especially in remodeling, because it offered a service that no other contractors had. And it's been a big blessing for us. People like Tessa coming in and giving their opinion and giving their ideas and just developing the program. And that's what really got us going into our niche.
And we still see that we're not the only one anymore, but we are one of the only ones that offer the design service as a contractor, whereas most people in town, if you're hiring a contractor, you're going to get a designer separately, And then
Correct.
you're using subs and all of that. Whereas with us, you kind of start with your designer from the very beginning. You get a designer plus Paul or I associated with your project so that you have one of the owners and a designer at all times. And then we keep everything else in-house also. So that's kind of where our little niche is.
Very nice. So,
So,
you're go ahead, Paul.
so as we grew, we wanted to control the jobs as much as we could, so we could keep our products, our projects, to a high level of quality. So instead of using a lot of subs, we keep, as Tessa mentioned, we keep a lot of those people in house that do our tile setting and our sheetrock and our framing and our cabinet setting.
Wow.
And we have our own fabrication division for granite and quartz. And we have our own glass department. So when we do a shower, we do the whole thing. We do the glass, the plumbing.
We have a master plumber on staff that's been here 18, 19 years.
Incredible. Incredible.
So
So you're not only a design build firm, you also have your showroom and you have your full staff that has kind of literally grown up with you, understands your philosophies and your brand, right? And just delivers high quality experiences. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Let's pretend I'm a homeowner that's interested in doing business with you and I find you online and I come into your universe. What does my experience look like from the moment I make contact with you to becoming, an estimate that's generated to a project that puts revenue in the bank for you? Could you walk me through that entire pathway of a new leads experience?
So normally when somebody comes in, I normally take on those leads as the new designer, kind of to talk to them, see what they want to do. If you're doing a kitchen, are you wanting to take out walls? Are you wanting to blow out something and make it bigger? Are you wanting to move into another room? Are you wanting to stay in your footprint and just kind of update? Bathrooms, are you wanting to make it bigger? Are you wanting to stay in your footprint? All of those things. And then from there, we kind of talk timelines and things like that, let them know, normally we're about a month and a half to 2 months out for a designer to get to your project to look at for
I
the
see.
first time. And then once we get that scheduled, they're good with our timelines. We go out there, Paul and I, and then a designer is going to go out. We walk through the project with the customer on site, kind of go through what they're hoping for, what their wants are, their wishes, all of those things, measure out the space. And then the designers come back to put together layouts, put together floor plans, and put together a very basic price point. Giving people, normally we give them on bathrooms, we kind of give them like a $5,000 price range of saying, hey, this bathroom's going to be 60, but you'll probably be somewhere between, 57 and 62, something like that. And then once they're comfortable with price point, then we jump into actually, finalizing a layout and picking out all of our materials, getting it contracted, and then getting them in our install queue.
Very cool. So if somebody calls and says they want a 2 or a 3 day bathroom, you're not it.
We're not it.
Cool.
And we know that we have some guys we can send them to. We've got referrals we send people to, but yeah, we're normally about a month and a half to 2 months out on consults, and at one point we were about 6 months out.
Congratulations.
And then yeah, it was crazy. And then for projects to start, once you sign your contract, we're anywhere from about 12 weeks and up, depending on how busy we are at the time.
And homeowners are fine with that because they choose to work with you and they want that experience and high quality,
Yep.
space designed by you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and at what point does the homeowner come to your showroom to pick everything the time, which is the fun part as a homeowner?
So the presentation after we go to the house, the presentation is done in the showroom. That way we can go over numbers, kind of show them different cabinet lines, show them different showers, give them a lot to think about. We print out 3D renderings and all of that for them to take home, look at. We try to come out with as many layouts as we can. If somebody's doing a kitchen, normally you can get 2 or 3 of them, give them all of that to think about. And then once they decide what direction they want to go, then we get them back in the showroom to start going through cabinets and where do you want pull outs, where do you want certain things, and then move into finishes.
Do you charge a deposit or a down payment? Because your design process sounds intense and very giving and giving them so many options.
We have a consultation fee that we do charge. Kitchens are $250, master bathrooms are $250, and hall bathrooms are $150. And then we also do, if somebody says, "Hey, I really love your project, and I love what you came up with, but you guys are a little out of my price point," we also do sell our plans based off of the hours that our designers have put them into it and get them ready for somebody else to come in and do.
I see. So they take their plan and they go to a different builder who can probably do it at a lower price point. But typically it doesn't work if you take a certain design with your vision and try to have somebody else kind of.
It's very, very seldom that we have that happen.
Yes.
Most of the time when people get through to that point with us, they see what they're paying for. They see why the price point's where it's at. They see our products. A lot of the customers and clients we go out to are either past clients or referrals. So a lot of them aren't even looking at going elsewhere.
Right, because they know you and they trust you and they feel comfortable with you about the quality of your work.
Exactly.
Nice. So what do you guys do for marketing in terms of lead generation for yourself? Is it pretty much a referral-based business, or are you running ads? How are you, keeping your pipeline full with potential leads?
That is a great question. And along the years, we have tried a lot of different things, from billboards to mail outs. Right now, we're in a position where most of our leads are generated by referrals, or somebody Googles us. They just look us up and find us online. And that accounts probably for, I'd say, 85 to 90% of the jobs that we do.
We really don't do much marketing at all. Our marketing budget is very, very tiny. It's Google ads and it's some Facebook posts every now and then of projects that we've done. But we do signs in the yards where people will drive by and say, "Hey, I saw your sign in my neighbor's yard." But other than that, we really don't advertise. It's a lot of word of mouth or just Googling and people calling us because we're the #1 reviewed contractor on Google.
So are you running Google ads? Or are you just relying on your Google business profile to give you those referral
We do
leads?
run Google ads.
Okay. And is it a certain dollar amount you're spending a month, or is it a percent of what your revenue
It's a
targets?
certain dollar amount that we keep it under. So in comparison to most companies, I think I just had a consult with a Google guy yesterday, and in comparison to most companies, our budget on Google Ads is way, way lower than anybody else, but we're still bringing in the searches. So
Right. I think because of the age of the brand and the domain authority you have, because of, Paul being in business for so many years and having consistently done good work, the Google algorithm remembers that you're a high quality contractor, and probably anytime somebody searches for a best kitchen remodeler or bathroom remodeler in Pensacola, Florida, it's showing you.
yeah.
I did notice you have reviews on your Google business profile. Do you have a plan in place on how you collect these reviews? Do you solicit reviews from your happy clients at a certain point when the project is being finished, or do you just let it ride and have it happen organically?
So when we go out and we get pictures of people's houses, we ask them to write a review for us to put on their website that accompanies all of their pictures, kind of saying how their project went and kind of reviewing everything start to finish. So those reviews tend to be a little bit longer and kind of walk through their projects. And then the ones that we don't take pictures of, we normally send a link to and say, "Hey, we just closed out your project. Here's a link. Please go leave us a Google review if you're wanting to."
Nice.
And we've been doing that for about 1.5 years now, and our Google reviews have just gone above and beyond. And people call in all the time and they say, "You're the only 5-star rated contractor on Google," which makes a big difference.
Yep. People like social proof. They want to hear from another homeowner how their experience was. You mentioned for some of the finished projects, you don't take photos. Is that because of confidentiality, privacy issues, or it's just the nature of the project?
The nature of the project.
Okay.
We try not to take pictures of all the kitchens that look the same. If you're doing a white kitchen, you can only have so many of those on your website. the hall bathrooms are very hard to take pictures in because they're tight spaces.
I see.
Master bathrooms, you kind of have to watch, again, tight spaces. So we kind of, pictures aren't, they're not cheap. So we want to do those, we want to showcase the projects that are above and beyond.
Right. Well, the Google algorithm really loves organic photos. So even if you do like before and after photos with an iPhone and post it on your website, even though it won't present very beautifully to a potential homeowner, you're going to get the SEO benefit of it. So that's what I tell my clients. Like, I know photography is expensive, and then some of them do drone photography, the exterior contractors. It just adds up, but just old-fashioned iPhone photography still, does the
And a lot
job.
of our customers do their iPhone pictures with their reviews and things like
Yeah,
that.
nice, nice. So do you have a process in place where you follow up with the finished project, like on the first anniversary, or you say, hey, homeowner, we redesigned your kitchen, thinking of you, how is it going? Or there's not enough time in the day to do that kind of follow-up?
Not enough time in the day. We send out Christmas cards every year.
We do
Sweet.
keep in contact that
We
way.
keep in contact.
One of the processes, one of the systems that we use is we have a project manager for every job. So they have a face and a name of somebody to keep their contact with every day on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And that person lets them know what's coming up, what's going on, and they have a pretty tight friendship by the end of a job. And that has been a very big help. It makes the customers feel very much at ease, and it really it brings a lot of connection, customer connection with the company. Really does.
So we don't really run into those, every once in a while you'll go to a project where somebody will say, oh, a contractor came in here and did this and this is messed up, but I just didn't want to call, or I didn't want to get into having to call or whatever, where our customers they'll just call because they know that they have that designer that they can talk to, or they still have their project manager's cell phone number that they can call and say, hey, my faucet isn't working right, or my drain's kind of clogged, and we'll just go and get it taken care of.
Right. Yeah. But in the end, business is all about those personal relationships. So they feel comfortable. And remodeling is definitely such a personal business because you're in people's homes, getting to know their dog and kids. And
That's right.
um,
We early on we decided that the best advertising was going to be to do every job with so well that customer was going to spread your name around. So
Right.
every job we do, expecting that when we're finished, that customer is going to be so happy they're going to tell all their neighbors.
right.
So,
And it's worked because you've been in business close to 30 years. So, right, that's the only way to do it. Do you
Exactly.
use any AI at all today in your business? Do you use ChatGPT or Bard or Gemini or one of those things in your day-to-day operations?
Didn't
No.
have it.
no,
Cool. Well, ChatGPT is an interesting tool to use for a lot of things. It can analyze your profit and loss. It can give you some timelines. If you have a project and you're trying to lay out a timeline, you can feed in the data and it can give you stuff. So it's pretty cool. There's several use cases in the remodeling industry that you could potentially use it for. And then client communication to just draft up letters and emails and follow-throughs that you can send. But do you use any other tech stack like software to keep your business going, like Build-A-Trend or AccuLinks, or how do you run your
We use
projects?
Google pretty much for everything. We've kind of got it set up through Google Drive where we can upload everything that has to do with a project, and then all of our guys can log into their Google accounts and pull it up on their phones and see and get answers to questions, specs that they need, kind of whatever. So we've got it all really linked in through Google.
Nice.
we have tried some. We have tried Builder's Trend and a couple others, but it just wasn't the perfect fit for who we are and the amount of work that we do. So.
And do you share photos and project progress with the homeowner through the Google Drive?
We don't. 99% of the time our homeowners are gonna be there.
Right.
Most of our customers, our homeowners, live in the house during the project, unless it's a full remodel, and then they'll move out, but they're normally real close and they're seeing the project every day. They're talking to a project manager every day, things like that.
Very cool. So, Paul, when you think about all the projects you've done, is there a favorite or a one that stands out in your head, either by virtue of, the project value or the complexity of the design, or perhaps the homeowner had a unique situation? I'm sure you love all the spaces that you design because that is the nature of remodeling. But is there a story for either of you? Do you have a story to share where you went in and the homeowner had a stringent budget and then you stuck to the budget, or they needed a complex design and you were able to achieve it? Any fun story that comes to mind?
Yes, there are so many, but one particular customer, it's a couple that we did some remodeling on a house for them, and they sold it not too long after that. So they had us come to their second house, and we did several projects on it, and then they moved to a third house and
Wow.
asked us to come and completely remodel it, and we did a complete remodel on it, and they just become really good friends after the years. But that's the kind of trust that we really we treasure highly, because that means a lot to us and it means a lot to them.
What a
They
great
also
story.
come over. Yeah.
Cool. How about you, Tessa? Do you have any complex designs that you dealt with or any fun story that
That's
comes to?
definitely my favorite part. I enjoy the full house remodels where people are wanting to, like we're working on one right now where she just wanted to completely change the layout of the house, get an extra bathroom in there, some extra closet space, get a bigger kitchen. So we took the entire house down to studs and completely reworked the floor plan to make it work for her so that it can be her forever home and be everything she's ever wanted. So those are definitely my favorite ones. They're kind of like a puzzle.
Yeah, I like the way you call it a puzzle. Fit everything in, fit the budget in, and very cool.
Exactly.
As you all know, remodeling is such a complex business. So many little details, subcontractors, employees, supplies, timelines. How do you manage your day, Paul? If there is a young remodeling contractor listening to this episode, what tips would you like to share in terms of either your daily time management or tools that you use or hacks? Or perhaps you have a fun morning routine that gets you through the day. I'd love to hear how you juggle, how you keep your sanity and juggle this complex business.
I don't know. We luckily I was blessed to have two fantastic brothers, and we thought a lot of along the same lines. We just knew what the other one was going to do, and along the way we just filled in whatever thing we needed to have done. We would do, whether it was sweeping the floor or running deliveries out, or every morning the guys. We have about 35 employees, so the guys get together and they get their marching orders and they head out when the project managers have their schedules every day. It's been a long term experience getting that set in place with the right people, getting all the right people in the right seats, and we get people like Tessa that joins the team, and it's really exciting that way. But you just have to keep at it and keep looking for new options. We've tried lots of different things along the way, and some work better than others, and some didn't work at all. So we would just keep trying something until we found a system that worked for us.
Right. Never give up, right? The fundamental
Never
rule
give
of
up.
entrepreneurship. But
Yeah, sorry.
when you look at your three brothers, did you have different strengths? Did each of you wear different hats in different roles as you were building the company ground up?
We did. We had different strengths. My older brother Richard is a machinist by trade, so he looked at the CNC machines in the granite shop. They were like big toys for him.
He's got the most incredible mechanical mind.
And
He
nice.
can fix anything. So he was very good at that. Ron is very methodical. He did have had a lot of good carpenter experience, construction experience, and even had a separate career as an AC technician. So HVAC technician. So he's very well rounded too. I just do whatever I can. So I actually held the contractor's license, and we just all work together. It just fit. So thank God for all our different gifts.
Nice, jack of all trades. At what point did you bring?
I guess I was the first employee.
I see.
We had a part-time employee at the end of '97, probably first part of '98, and then we just steadily, slowly grew. After Hurricane Ivan, which hit here in 2004,
Mm-hmm.
that was a terrible time. Even for contractors, people think contractors make a lot of money, but that was a stressful time. We were up to about 60 employees for part of that, just to maintain and help our customers get through. And that was very tough time. And then the recession was a tough time. But you just have to keep working and keep coming to work and figure out what's going to work the best and keep moving forward.
Did you ride the remodeling boom when we had the pandemic? Were you just swamped with projects with people home and upgrading their spaces and stuff?
It's been a very strange time since the pandemic. Yes, we stayed busy. We shut down for about 2 weeks right at the beginning of the pandemic, and then we separated the guys into teams and kept them separated. So if somebody did get sick, that team went home, but we could keep moving forward.
And we kind of did the same thing in the office where the girls would have a day that they would go out on projects with Paul. So we were working shifts coming into the office that we got everybody work from home computers to where they could do all of their design work from home. They could come in and do a presentation. We'd have, our showroom was technically closed, but we'd open for a couple to come in for presentations, sanitize everything, and then do it all over the next day. So it was really working in blocks to keep going, because we did feel that we got very, very busy.
Yes, yeah, like most remodelers did, and you probably already had projects in the pipeline that you couldn't just stall. So
That's right.
Exactly. We normally stay anywhere from 3 to 6 months out on pre-sold projects.
nice, very cool. So Tessa, this is such an exciting time for you to become an employee owner. Do you have any a certain vision for the company, or what are you looking at from a future perspective of where you're coming in? Because you understand the brand and you're still working with the founders. So it's such a fantastic opportunity for you.
It's an amazing opportunity. Was completely floored when they asked me to do it. I think right now the three of us that are in line to become the owners, for the next 5 years while we still have Ron and Paul, we are trying to learn as much and soak in as much as we possibly can.
Excellent.
Less plans to change and more plans to let's learn everything that we can from them while we still have them.
So you have a 5-year plan in place, Paul, to retire?
Yes, we do. And that would be the complete transfer of the company in that amount of time. So we have some very, very fantastic employees.
Amazing. So for each of you, I'll start with Paul. When you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Well, I'm married to Vicky. We've been married 33 years this year.
Congratulations.
And have 2 daughters that are 26 and 21. We just went up. I took my daughters to a race this week in Talladega.
Nice.
So that was exciting. One of them wanted to go, so they said, "Hey, we'll go to a race." So
Nice.
she lives one of them lives in Birmingham, the other's in school in Mobile. Vicky and I like to go camping whenever we can. That's what we like to do, get away.
And
Find some place where the phones don't work.
into nature, absolutely. Those nature packs, they're good for you. Amazing.
That's right.
How about you, Tessa?
I hang out with my dogs a lot when I'm not at work. I tend to stay home and just hang out with my dogs on the weekends. We're nonstop during the week, so when it comes to the weekend time, I am a cut off
Sure.
from the world and relax when I can.
Very cool. And your commute is short? Do you live close to work?
I think we both live within 15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes, yes.
Fantastic. Quality of life. Amazing. Very cool. So, considering we're coming up on, 5 years since the pandemic happened, 2025 is around the corner. what are you predicting, Paul, for the remodeling industry? Is there going to be an upswing? The next 5 years, what do you predict as an outlook for the remodeling business with your decades of experience under your belt?
Wow, put me on the spot there. Um, I I believe that this is an election year, which is always very
Complex.
different.
Mhm.
Everybody's tentative right now, and we have been blessed that we have enough work scheduled through the first part of the year. So
Nice.
I think next year is still going to be fine, no matter what happens with the election. I feel that that we're in a position we're solid enough that we're gonna be okay. I don't think the remodeling business is going to go away at all for quite some time. I think when people were stuck at home with the pandemic and they saw what needed to be done at home, I think we're still catching up with that. There's still some pent up demand.
Nice.
And then we always keep our eyes open to see if there's some other service that we can come up with for our customers to help make things easier and make things go smoother for them. We always keep our eyes open for that.
What would be an example of that?
Like recently we brought on a closet system, like a full-on closet design system, because we do a lot of master bathroom suites and closets and all that, where we were sending people elsewhere to go get closet systems, and it just kind of turned into now there's more people involved and you're waiting on this company, and our customers were like, well, can y'all do it? And can y'all do it? So we went out and we found a closet system to bring on, and now our designers are doing that too.
Amazing. Very cool. So this value add to the homeowner. Do you attend any of the industry conferences or shows to keep up to speed about all of the new products and new things coming about in remodeling?
I go to KBIS every other year, and then we do one trade show a year with the designers. We've been doing the Gulf Coast Flooring Show for the last 8 years. I think this year we're going to switch over and we're going to go do surfaces instead, take them to something a little bit bigger, let them see all of the new stuff coming out and things like that.
So you have homeowners that come to these shows and those convert into business for you?
We don't do any of the shows that are local home remodeling shows or anything. No, we don't do any of those.
I see. So you just go to the big vendor shows and then get all of the knowledge. And then KBIS is, of course, fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff going on. And I like your style of going every other year. So you're not stressed out like going to the conference.
It's a lot to take in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, every time there's like so many new things. New faucets, touchless faucet, singing Toto. I'm like, fantastic. Like this is...
Yeah, I took my mom. We went year before last. I took my mom because she was like, oh, I'll just tag along. And it was so funny watching her walk through it because, being in the industry, we know that there's 5,000 different toilets, and she walked in and saw 5,000 different toilets, and her mind was just blown as to how and why there were so many different toilet options.
I know, it's incredible. The first time I went to the show, I was like, wow, just this rows and rows and rows of toilets. Yeah, it's
days long.
It's an important piece of our lives, so we absolutely need those options.
Right.
That's right. And it helps keep us looking to what's new, to see what's out there, see what changes are.
Very cool. So, I have one last question. How do each of you stay inspired?
I think it's with each new project. The thing I love about remodeling is that every project you do is different. Every customer is different. We're not doing track homes. We're not doing spec homes. So we're designing for a specific person, a specific family. We're designing to make their houses their homes, their forever homes. And I think that's kind of what keeps you going and what we do, because everything is different and you're making it for that person.
And I agree. It's every single job is different. There's no, even if it's the same exact shape and size, everyone's different. And just to be able to help somebody see what can be in their house. They're so used to whatever they had that, gosh, if they just could do this little thing, it would be so much nicer for them. And to see them light up when they do that's just a blessing. It really is.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate each of you for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with me and share your story. It was a delight to get to know you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. If you would like to generate more leads through your digital marketing efforts, please visit remodelerdigital.com and check the workshop section for video training and guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads and how to have your website be best friends with the Google algorithm. Also sign up for a 15-minute discovery call with me to run an online snapshot report of your remodeling business. This has been another successful episode of the Remodeler Digital Playbook. Thanks for listening.